We are living in strange times. The COVID-19 pandemic has changed many aspects of our life. Even if you're not personally affected by the pandemic, chances are your life has changed to some extent over the last months. In a relatively short amount of time, the world we saw as normal has shifted into a world of global crisis. And no matter what happens in the coming months, the legacy will probably continue to live with us for a long time. We all deal with crises in different ways. You may experience some anxiety, sadness, fear, worries, or social distancing may create feelings of loneliness. However you're feeling, know that that's okay. We are all trying to recreate some sense of normalcy, trying to make sense of it all, perhaps hoping that it'll all go away. We are a society that wants quick fixes, and we want this to be over quickly. One way I noticed we are trying to deal with this challenging situation is by trying to make the best of it, to use this time that we are confined to our home in the best way possible. We could use this time to take care of projects we didn't have time for before. We could exercise regularly and finally get really fit. We could buckle down and get lots of work done. We could improve our productivity or grow our business. We could do courses, learn a language, get things done. We don't want to waste this time and we focus on being as productive as possible. Productivity has been an important measure in our society for a while, and suddenly being thrown into this new uncharted world situation seems to awaken that desire even more in some people. Let me start by saying that I am not an expert. I am struggling like everyone else to adjust to this new situation. Some days I feel fine, some days not. And I'm sharing my thoughts on this productivity pressure in the hopes that they may help some of you out there who might be struggling to meet that expectation. So take from this video what you can use and leave the rest. We love being busy and we love being productive. It makes us feel worthwhile and valuable as people. A lot of us tend to, consciously or subconsciously, tie our self-worth to our productivity. And especially now that we may have more time or have to spend our time indoors, we might feel the pressure to buckle down, ignore the challenges and the fact that we are dealing with a very difficult situation, and get things done. We dive into a frenzy of activity. We might be trying to do our job from home in the best way we can, while also being a perfect teacher and helping our kids with their homework, while at the same time taking on extra projects and keeping our home clean, and of course, waking up early and getting in a good workout. Even if you're not doing any of these things, the pressure could be there. You may have strong expectations about what you should be doing right now, and if you are unable to meet them, you could feel that you are failing if you're not making the most of this global crisis. If you recognize this at all, please know that you are not failing. It's perfectly alright to feel lost right now. No one feels good during a global crisis, so please allow yourself ample room to work through it. My first tip would be to focus on the basics, things that make you feel comfortable and secure. If you have an activity that makes you feel grounded, something you can return to when you feel lost, allow yourself enough time to do it often. You could focus on connecting online with people you love, or eat good and healthy food. Do some yoga or meditation. If you live with others, give them a hug when you feel anxious, or cuddle up with a pet. Stand near a window, feel the sunlight on your face and realize that right now, at this moment, everything is okay. You are okay. My advice would be to try and ignore any posts about productivity on social media right now. It is okay if you're not as productive as usual. Perhaps on some days, just getting out of bed, taking a shower, and having something good to eat can already be an accomplishment. You are allowed to work through whatever it is you're feeling and allow yourself the time to do activities that are relaxing for you. If this resonates with you, I recommend watching my Healthy Habits During Lockdown video, in which I share 10 ways you can practice self-care during this time. I will link it in the description to watch after this one. This time could be an opportunity not to get more done, but to slow down and reflect. Do some introspection, get to know yourself, and learn to love your own company more. Make sure your home is a comfortable and safe environment. Please know that you are not failing and let go of any ideas or expectations that you may have about what you should be doing right now. If you internally feel like being productive and getting some work done, that's great. Productivity is not a bad thing, and it could be nice to think about something else for a while, to get some distraction and to focus on something you can do, something you have control over. Don't feel like you need to be productive every day, but of course know that you are allowed to. No matter how we slice it, the world has changed, and among the many feelings we could be experiencing during this time, one of them could be grief. Grieving the world we knew before and have now lost. It is change that we didn't want. We miss our normal routines, our social interactions, or the plans that we made and were looking forward to that now have to be cancelled. Everything has changed, and this could make us feel disoriented. From what we know about grief, it needs to be dealt with and processed. If you feel this way at all, please allow yourself room for that. Another tip I want to give you is to focus on the present moment. Whenever we feel anticipatory anxiety, we are worried about the future, perhaps our health or the health from our loved ones, the impact the pandemic might have on the economy or our own financial situation. Whenever you feel yourself getting lost and falling down this rabbit hole full of worries, try to get back and focus on the present moment. Remind yourself that you are healthy now, you are safe, you have enough food. Right now, everything is okay. The things I've mentioned so far are, I think, especially important in the beginning. If you haven't done them yet, but you feel like you might benefit from them, try them out. Perhaps after a while, you will feel a little better. Some sense of normalcy will have returned because you are getting more used to the new situation. Of course, I don't know how things will go from here, but people are resourceful and we are capable of getting used to new things. Once you feel more stable, you might start to crave some challenges or activities that are more outside of your comfort zone. You might start to want to learn new things or take on new projects. This mental shift might make you feel like you can be as productive as you were before. If that happens, great, allow yourself that space. Now more than ever, I think we need to learn to listen to ourselves better, identify our needs, abandon expectations, and embrace the authentic. This requires patience, something most of us aren't naturally good at. If your progress is slow, let it be slow. Let it be honest and real. Focus on what you need and don't be afraid to give that to yourself. One way to look at our current world situation is through the benefit of silence. A lot of aspects from our normal daily life are currently pausing. Things are more silent, and silence can be potential, an opportunity. When finally there aren't all these things screaming at you, demanding your attention all day. You are free to experience the day and enjoy the moments as they come. Silence can help us right now and serve as a reset button. There's great value in it, and it can help us to get back in touch with ourselves. But silence can also be quite scary because there's no place to hide in silence. As long as we are occupied, we have enough to think about, but when we're taking a break, we have to deal with ourselves. Maybe you'll think about things you don't want to think about, or face a part of yourself you're afraid to face. Maybe you find that you are different from the ideas you've had about yourself. But even though it is challenging, there's so much value in taking a break in silence, because it can help us to shape our life in a way that supports us and those around us. Especially during this time, we have an opportunity to try this out. Lastly, I want to leave you with this. Whenever you need it, give yourself permission to tune out the world and tune into your inner world. Give yourself room to breathe. If you feel vulnerable, embrace it. And accept that however you're feeling, whatever you're doing, it's all right. You don't have to work to improve yourself right now. You are already great, right now. Setting goals, striving for success, being productive, it can all be very valuable. But you don't have to focus on them in order to become something which you are not already. Your life may not be perfect, and I'm sure you have flaws, and maybe your life is messy or untidy. But it is also beautiful and real and worthwhile, just like you. You don't have to have everything figured out, especially now, but it is true in all times. honestly, from my heart to yours, you are already good, great even, right now. And you can fully accept this fact right now with all your talents and your flaws and your imperfections. You deserve to. Thank you so much for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up and of course subscribe to the channel if you want more. Questions, comments, conversation down below, and I'll see you next week.